Well, that was a very quick match, and it looks as though the groundwork is important. We saw it there again, where the two fighters, definitely upright fighters, definitely coming from a background of upright fighting, ended up on the ground right away.
We got a smoker between a Thai boxer and a street fighter.
All right, up next, we have Dusan Knapick and Roytberg. What do you know about Dusan?
Dusan is an interesting fighter. He has quite a varied background. He's done judo, boxing, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu.
Another smoker. This is between a sambo fighter and a kickboxer. He trains out of world heavyweight kickboxing champion Maurice Smith's kickboxing center. He's from Kirkland, Washington. He stands 5'11", weighed in at 184 pounds. Put your hands together for Roytberg. He is the Washington State and Pacific Northwest kickboxing champion. And a sambo fighter. He is here all the way from Baranov, Slovakia. He stands standing at 5'7" tall and hitting the scale at 175 pounds. Please welcome Dusan Knapick. This is another smoker. 3-minute round. 5-minute round.
All right, so we have Dusan Knapick, who is sambo. Sambo being art where they're using kicks and strikes, as well as wrestling and joint locks. Particularly the joint lock focus for the samboist is on the ankles and on the knees. What do you know, Chris, about Roytberg?
Roytberg claims 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw in Pan-Gratian matches.
All right, let's see what happens here. It looks like they want to be upright at first anyway. Okay, there's the takedown. Already we see that same program. Oh, it's been turned over. Roytberger's doing a great job at keeping Dusan off of him right now. Dusan works himself around. Knapick is doing a great job here. He's just trying to move himself into position. Roytberger is keeping that distance by those legs. It's working very well.
Did you notice he dropped right away when he had a leg? It looked like he was going to go for some type of leg lock.
Yeah, it looks like he's still working at it. You can see his left arm underneath that right foot of Roytberg. It looks like he's trying to do something. Meanwhile, Roytberg is working as well on
Knapick's arm. Oh, he had to let it go.
There's some strikes coming in. Roytberg is definitely wanting to strike.
There's no stomping. The rules are clearly state there's no stomping. I guess in the heat of the battle, obviously he forgot that, and he seemed to know right away.
Yes, he did. It seems as if it's just a natural reaction for a lot of the no-holds-barred fighters to do that. All right, we're back into it again. Let's see if we go back into that shoot or if we're going to stand upright. Looks like they want to throw a few kicks. Oh, Dusan's right in there. He took a knee, but he's got a hold of the leg. Dusan's trying to work his way around the body here. Knapick is now, his head is open. This is a spider position. It's also a very favorite jiu-jitsu position. Now it's changed into a T position where Dusan is free to use that knee or those hands. Roytberger needs to get an elbow-knee connection underneath, or that is perfect. Bridge off. Roytberger is doing so well with those legs, Chris. He just keeps pushing him off with his legs and getting into a better position. It's just one way than the other here. I'm not too sure exactly what happened there. We're back into the action. It looks like Roytberger's looking pretty fresh. Oh, there's some nice leg kicks.
He's obviously worked the Thai boxing, and that leg kick was absolutely no problem. Surprising how many people don't know how to block a leg kick.
I know, it is astounding. But, you know, lately, since there's been so much publicity over this style of fighting and martial art, a lot of the people are learning these techniques, the leg kicks, the guard, which we're seeing right now, mounts, all these things that were pretty foreign to most of the martial artists out there find themselves now needing to learn these techniques because they are very good techniques, as we're seeing right now.
And they've been effective a number of times. We've seen experienced, strong fighters go down just from leg kicks.
Oh, Knapick is taking some punishment here. Roytberger is really striking, and this is merely because Knapick is not keeping close with Roytberger. He needs to keep the body in close, and if that's not going to work, then he needs to separate completely and get away.
He's obviously holding there a little tighter now. I think he must have heard you, Rob.
Definitely, definitely. He could be reading my mind. At any rate, he's definitely keeping it safe right now. He's biding his time. There's definitely room for a headbutt in here if he doesn't keep his head protected. Knapick looks as if he's very tired. It looks like he's absorbed some shots here. Roytberger is still looking very fresh, and he's just biding his time again and working his way in to get some strikes in whenever he can. Well, there's some body shots. He's just picking away, just picking away. That's usually the philosophy of most ground fighters when they're in this type of a situation and they're in the guard. They want to just try to hold that position and pick away, using the headbutts, using the body blows to try to shift the grip of the person on the ground so that they can either push themselves into a mount or force some kind of a change in the action. All right, there we have the end of the round. It looks like Knapick took a little bit of a beating there. He looks a little bit tired. Roytberger's looking not too bad. He's looking fairly fresh, but I'd say that match, it went both ways. There was definitely Knapick on top and then flipping right over to Roytberger. It just seemed to go back and forth, but I think that Roytberger definitely dished out some good blows in there, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. I'd have to agree with you, Rob. Speaking with Knapick earlier at the weigh-in, he stated that he will not tap out. He will not tap out. He said he can take a lot of punishment, and he will definitely not tap out.
Well, that's definitely something that we've been seeing here tonight. It seems as if a lot of the fighters have very large hearts, and they just don't want to give up. They want to do everything they can to try to win their bout. And looks as though Dusan is in the same boat as everyone else we've seen tonight. All right, we're up and ready. Dusan Knapick in the Muay Thai kicking shorts. Roytberger with the gloves. Roytberg with the gloves. There's those leg kicks from Roytberg again. Oh, there's a great head kick. Excellent technique by Roytberg, taking the leg and then going straight to the head afterwards.
Knapick did a good job of covering up, but some of those knee strikes got through.
Yeah, Knapick is definitely just holding on right now, trying to get himself back up again. There he goes. Now, if he can use a few knees in there, maybe take a leg and reap him back on the ground and mount, would probably be his best bet right now. I think you can hear some of the audience yelling to stomp his foot. This is something that was seen a long time ago in the UFC with Marco Ruas against Varlin is one of the largest men in the UFC. I think those who saw it were quite amazed at just the ability to think of such a thing in this position, to start stomping on a foot and actually cause your opponent to loosen his grip so you can take him down. Pretty much anything goes here. I mean, you can use anything. We saw pressure points. There's been everything: headbutts, elbows, everything except, of course, stomping. And this is a fairly neutral position. Again, that looked like there may have been a choke, but it's a neutral position. Dusan Knapick is in Roytberg's guard right now, which means he is on top, and Roytberg is on the bottom, holding the defensive position. Now, this is where Dusan can dish out the punishment, same as what he received earlier. You can see those legs working again by Roytberg. He's trying to work those legs up and trying to kick Knapick off.
And it looks like they're going to stop it for being outside the ring.
Yeah, it looks like Roytberg's legs were caught outside the ropes, and they had to bring them back in again.
A bit of a bad break for Knapick because he obviously had the upper hand there.
Well, it's a seesaw battle here. You just never know which way it's going to go. All right, here we are. They're both looking very well. Actually, Knapick is looking a bit tired, but he took a shot there. Tried to do a hip throw, but it didn't quite work. He's exposed his back. This could be dangerous. All right, now we're right back where we were before with Knapick inside Roytberg's guard.
You can see the ground fighting experience of Knapick. He's very comfortable there. He was even comfortable standing because he knew if he went down, he was confident on the ground.
Very confident. He seems to be a very versatile fighter. He has taken some shots, though. Roytberg has been very, very effective inside Knapick's guard. Earlier on, he was dishing out some blows. Now, there's an excellent escape by Roytberg. Unfortunately, that was out to the edge of the ring, but that was an excellent escape. It's called a hip scoot. It's when you scoot your hip out to one side. Usually what happens in the jiu-jitsu world is people are wearing a gi or a uniform, and they use the side of the gi to pull themselves up onto the opponent's back after they've scooted out on the side like that, and it's all over like we saw earlier with a choke from behind. All right, we're back in again. Knapick looking tired. Roytberg just moving around. He's looking fairly fresh. We could see a leg kick again. Oh, we're going to the hands. There was a good shot there by Knapick. Did you see that?
Overhand right, slid in.
That's right. It was very good. Now, it's interesting to note that Roytberg has gloves on and Knapick is bare-fisted. This can be an advantage in one way and a disadvantage in another, where perhaps you can dish out a little more punishment with your bare fists. Oh, there's the foot stomping we were talking about earlier. But as I was just saying, you can dish out more punishment with the bare fist, but you can also injure yourself much faster without the protection.
That's right, Rob. And with people throwing blows wildly, often they strike on the skull, and the fist just doesn't stand up to the skull.
There was a great move. Now we have Knapick in T position on top. Both men are looking as if this is really wearing them out here. They're really fighting hard.
Knapick looks strong in this position. He had that.
There's a perfect move. Knapick made a clean move to mount because Roytberg did not have a defense up. Excellent. Bridge and roll. And again, we changed the position.
Very strong. His bridges have been very strong all night.
All right, that was a fantastic round. Knapick looks very tired, and Roytberg looks very fresh. He just goes right back to his corner, has a seat, everything looks fine. Well, I don't know. If I was to be judging this match, I'd say it's very close.
It's close, but I think I'd have to say that Roytberg had the edge at this point.
Yes, I think that maybe he gave out quite a few more head shots with his headbutts and his hands as well, and that kick that he threw in there. He went to the leg, and then he went to the head. This type of strategy is it's advanced, although it's something that a lot of the people out there in the martial arts world will learn like right in the beginning of their training. It's so difficult to use that kind of skill in the ring when you're under so much stress. He's actually moving very well in there, and he's thinking very well.
I'm not counting Knapick out at this point. When I spoke to him earlier, he told me that he started training with his father at age 6.
That's right. His father was the one who started showing him Sambo back home. And there we go again, the strikes. And we're into the clinch.
When they engage like that, almost every time I've seen Roytberg land a few blows. Some knees, some elbows. He seems to slide some in there. And although Knapick does a good job at closing the gap and holding on.
We have a guillotine working here. He's working onto a guillotine. If Knapick can't get an arm in there to defend it, he's going to be choked. This is a very dangerous choke. There are ways to defend against it, one of which is to put one arm over the opponent's shoulder.
He was able to release.
He was able to release. That was very close. They're both looking exhausted now, Chris. His mouth guard. We have Roytberg's mouth guard here that came out. We're just cleaning it up and putting it back in again.
There's two tired fighters here.
Okay, we're back in that position again. We have Knapick in the guard. It looks like an elevator or a backdoor action going on by Roytberg. Ankle lock is happening here.
Now, this is one of Sambo's specialties. Knapick has one leg. We'll see if he can do anything with it.
We've seen it earlier tonight, and it's been a very tricky spot for both competitors to work on. When both people are working on those ankles, it's very difficult when the body's slippery to get a good hold on that ankle and crank it. All right, Knapick's going back to that ankle. Roytberg could try to do some striking or post that foot, get it down on the mat so that he can't get any torque on it. That's the best right there. Get right up and then back into the striking mode. Dusan is definitely looking tired here. This would be a good time, don't you think, Chris, to just stay in that position and just start picking away at the ribs or a certain point of the body for either fighter, just to try to maintain some kind of action where you can cause a change of flow.
Roytberg is still active, and I'd have to say he's the fresher of the two fighters.
It seems that way. It seems as if he's definitely fresher. I don't understand why they're both just lying and waiting right now. This is where we were earlier, where Dusan took some punishment as Roytberg just continued to get separation and continue with the blows.
1 minute. 1 minute left in this fight.
All right, we're down to the last minute here. There's got to be some action picking up here now.
They're going to want to make a good showing in the last minute.
Dusan's doing some work from the bottom. Roytberg's working away on the top. There's a little bit of a body blow from the bottom.
In the raw fighting rules, if it times out and no fighter has submitted or been knocked out, it will be deemed a draw.
That's right. That's right. Both fighters will have to go home with an unsuccessful victory, but also no loss. It's a draw. Unlike in boxing matches or other matches, there is no judging. So it is strictly by the time. If you can actually get your opponent to submit by the end of the match, then you've won that match. If not, then unfortunately it's a draw.
Down to the wire. Cheer on your favorite fighter.
Now we've seen a lot of punishment in this position.
All right. Roytberg got away just to get back on his feet again there.
10 seconds.
Last 10 seconds. Roytberg is throwing some good moves here. Knapick is closing the gap and keeping a good position, and that's it.
Well, congratulations to both fighters.
That was a fantastic fight for both men. They did a wonderful job.
Under Smoker rules, if it goes the distance, it's a draw. Let's hear it for both of these guys. Roytberg and Dusan Knapick.
Oh, that was a great match, Chris.
These two guys have put up a hell of a